Ekam Satyam Param Brahma Purusham Krishna Pingalam Urvarekam Virupaksham Vishwarupaya Vai Namo Namaha Sarvo Vai Rudrastasmai Rudraya Namo Astu Purusho Vai Rudrasanmamo Namo Namaha Vishwam Bhutam Bhuvanam Chitram Bahuda Jatam Jayamanam Jayate Sarvo Yesha Rudrastasmai Rudraya Namo Astu Karudaya Prachedase Nilushtamaya Savyase Pose Mashantamadam Pride Sarvo Yesha Rudrastasmai Rudraya Namo Astu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
infinite, eternal, of the nature of being, consciousness, bliss, Satchidananda, the illimitable Brahman, are you. It is only misidentification that causes one to suppose otherwise. Such misidentification constitutes ignorance. When ignorance is recognized as ignorance, it ceases to exist. Inwardly inquire to discern the real nature of your existence. Such discernment or discrimination is of the nature of non-objective knowledge. To realize the self with this non-objective knowledge, it suffices for you to cease to misidentify with the body and abandon the assumption of individuality. You cannot be both infinite and a body. You cannot be both eternal and a body. If you are not the body, all of the attributes of the body, its activities, its state or condition, its life and death, none of such pertain to you. If you are not a body, What in truth are you? You indeed exist. What is the nature of this existence? The first misidentification, which serves as a basis for all of them, is constituted of the notion, the barest assumption of I, of an individual. Such is the primal false definition for yourself. Free of that, what remains is pure being, consciousness, bliss. Unveiled, unobstructed, not limited in any way. Being, consciousness, bliss is your nature. They are not attributes of you. They are you. And though spoken of as being a triad, being, consciousness, bliss, actually only one thing is indicated. For it is in the very nature of non-objective knowledge for there to be an absence of multiplicity. The assumption of I, what is its source? From what does it arise? The assumption of I. Who possesses it? Can it possess itself? Can ignorance conjure ignorance? If you inquire deeply, profoundly, to know yourself, the individuality, being unreal, will simply vanish. The very thing that is presently regarded as individualized is not in truth individualized at all, but is infinite and eternal, or locationless and timeless. Existence is absolute, and existence alone exists. That existence, limitless, is your existence, the only actual existence that you have. Brahman does not become an individual. It remains its unmodified self, always. The individual does not become Brahman. There is no individual, and Brahman alone knows itself. If this knowledge is yours, self-illumined, how could there be ignorance? Without ignorance, how could there be bondage? Without being bound, how could you suffer? The innate happiness and peace shine forth. The supposed one who is not realized cannot be found anywhere. One eyeless, true I alone exists. That alone is real. That alone is what you are. Inquire, who am I?
So if the self does not exist, the individual self is, when it's inquired after, it's never found. But entertaining thoughts, following thought trains, thinking about ideas, that's acting as if the individual self does exist. So only abiding in consciousness, in that, this should be the aim. Is that right?
Consciousness itself has no I-ness. And it always is just as it is. All the other thoughts are for you. Who are you? Implicit in all your ideas and trains of thought is the notion I, the individual who could be a thinker, an experiencer, and such. If that individual is sought and not found, the truth regarding the self remains self-evident.
Brahman doesn't have any questions.
What a blessing. Either abide as Brahman, which has no questions, or question everything you leave unquestioned. Such as what is attributed to yourself, inclusive of the notion, I. Be deep, be thorough.
So this depth and thoroughness, obviously has to come from myself or a deep desire. Like I think Ramana was saying, we were reading that a week and a half ago about Secret Vasha didn't have that, or I don't remember exactly, but he didn't destroy the ego. He left it intact. But it seems like it's also that this discrimination has to be you have to be intense in this inquiry to destroy the ego. And I get stuck on all sorts of like little teeny things like, my mind is a creator, or, it's like, it's invincible, it's, whatever. I mean, not invincible because it's easily destroyed. I should say destroyed, but it easily goes away when I go to deep sleep or,
What vanishes in deep sleep cannot be you. What vanishes at all cannot be real. What is real is always. What is unreal is never. In the story related in Yoga Vasishta, the king was in quest of vairagya, dispassion, detachment. But as long as he retained the ego notion, it was not complete. When at last it dawned upon him, having received gracious instruction by Chudala, that he needs to address the one who is attached, he destroyed the ego summarily and was peaceful ever after. You also become completely, serenely detached from all that is from all that is in the world, from all that is in the mind. And with discriminating inquiry, find out the nature of the one who seems to be attached. Inquiring to know the nature of who is bound is itself liberation.
Yeah, that, when you mentioned that is being left intact for sure. Without that question. It's assumed to be an obstacle.
So it is with all ignorance. It seems to be until you examine it.
continue with dispassion and inquiry.
For the sake of dispassion or detachment, just become keenly aware of what the nature and source of happiness. If there is no confusion regarding happiness, how would you be attached?
It seems like it's a matter, at least the way I take that meditation is, I've tried so often to find that happiness externally.
Does it work?
It doesn't. No. Has it worked? But that's sort of how I reflect. Has it worked? Similar to what you just asked. And there seems like there's an inner kind of deep knowledge that understands that statement. Something knows that. So it's almost, it seems like it's a meditation that kind of discriminates, eliminates these things for the mind just to wander towards. At least that's what it seems like when I meditate. But I don't know if I know that as directly as what you mean.
Come to know the source and nature of happiness, the nature of reality, and what in truth is your identity. And would there be any perplexity? Confusion thus ends, and your natural state remains.
Because I guess that even goes all the way to the ego, right? Thinking that somehow there's some happiness, the ego somehow is a owner of this bliss.
But it's not, is it? Bliss shines for itself, not for an ego. Similarly, the ego is not real. And it is not your identity. With clarity regarding this, to what would your mind wander?
I recently have been more successful in meditating because in the past I couldn't even get to the point of dealing with things in the way you've just been describing them. I couldn't even get there. It was more like an inner resistance to even, thinking about things or approaching things in the right way. And then I read Vamadeva describing how when still in his mother's womb, it felt like 100 iron citadels pressing down on him, trying to prevent him from escaping, like an iron net. And that was exactly the feeling that I was dealing with. I couldn't believe and then he described how, like a hawk, he fought his way up and through and escaped. And ever since I read that, it was like, I was giving the other side all the energy, because it's all in the mind. So I was allowing the thing I was fighting against was really just, it was my own energy that was providing it, the reality of it. So then when there was something about that image that just did it, and I suddenly said, oh, I'm like the hawk, I'm not the 100 iron citadels. And after that just seemed to get me past some of that. It was just so good to find an analogy that actually matched the nature of my own inner struggle at that point. And since then, I have been able to reach the like when you constantly say, who is it that's having this idea or that problem or whatever, I can get there now. And it's just really wonderful. But previously, if I'd had to think in terms of happiness, I never believed I could have any, so I couldn't even figure out how to start thinking about that. So I had to get past this other thing instead. So for me, at any rate, it was knowing that I myself was creating the problem that I was fighting against, and finding a way to get myself to stop doing that was the thing.
So the obstacles are not real, but are only imagined. They're self-conjured, and you have to adhere to them. They don't invent themselves, and they do not adhere to you.
Yes, and they're only there because you insist in your mind that they must be there. And when you said something, finally you get to the point where whatever it is, something makes you see that all you have to do is just stop doing that, and then it stops. It was so strange, but it seems to be working. Amazing.
There are those who have tread the path before you to self-realization. This is the ancient teaching.
Yes, and that one description, I said, that's what's happening. That's exactly what it feels like. That image of 100 iron citadels pressing down on you. That's exactly the feeling that I had.
Well, then it was written just for you.
I don't think so, but no, it was. It's amazing. We create our own pit and then insist on falling into it, and it's not even there.
Like in dreams.
Yes, exactly.
I I feel that I have chaos, like just chaos.
About what?
Everything.
There can be guilt over something done, said, or thought of. Yourself truly stands beyond such. It is taintless, stainless. If you inquire deeply, who am I? You find that you are not a performer of action, a doer. You are not a speaker, and you are not a thinker, but lie beyond all such. You will also find yourself able to overcome the tendencies that would make you do, speak, or think something about which you would feel guilty.
From the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Sa hovacha Maitreyi yennuma iyam bhogaha sarva prithvi vittena purna syat syam nwaham tenamrata ho neti neti hovacha yajnavalkyaha yadhaivopakaranatam jivitam tadhaivate jivitam syat amrtatvasya tu nashasti vitteneti.
Thereupon Maitreyi said, Sir, if indeed this whole earth full of wealth be mine, shall I be immortal through that or not? No, replied Yajnavalkya, your life will be just like that of people who possess plenty of things, but there is no hope of immortality through wealth.
Sa hovacha Maitreyi yenaham namrtasyam kimaham tena kuryam yadeva bhagavan veda tadeva me bruhiti.
Then Maitreyi said, "What shall I do with that which will not make me immortal? Tell me, sir, of that alone which you know to be the only means of immortality."
सहोवाच याज्ञवल्क्यः प्रिय वै खलु नो भवति सति प्रियमवृतत् हन्त तर्हि भवत्येतद्व्याख्यास्यामि ते व्याचक्षणस्य तु निदिध्यासस्वेति.
Yajnavalkya said, "You have been my beloved even before, and you have magnified what is after my heart. If you wish, my dear, I will explain it to you. As I explain it, meditate upon its meaning."
सहोवाच न वा अरे पत्युः कामाय पतिः प्रियो भवति आत्मनस्तु कामाय पतिः प्रियो भवति. न वा अरे जायायै कामाय जाया प्रिया भवति आत्मनस्तु कामाय जाया प्रिया भवति. न वा अरे पुत्राणां कामाय पुत्राः प्रिया भवन्ति आत्मनस्तु कामाय पुत्राः प्रिया भवन्ति. न वा अरे वित्तस्य कामाय वित्तं प्रियं भवति आत्मनस्तु कामाय वित्तं प्रियं भवति. न वा अरे पशूनां कामाय पशवः प्रिया भवन्ति आत्मनस्तु कामाय पशवः प्रिया भवन्ति. न वा अरे ब्रह्मणः कामाय ब्रह्म प्रियं भवति आत्मनस्तु कामाय ब्रह्म प्रियं भवति. न वा अरे क्षत्रस्य कामाय क्षत्रं प्रियं भवति आत्मनस्तु कामाय क्षत्रं प्रियं भवति. न वा अरे लोकानां कामाय लोकाः प्रिया भवन्ति आत्मनस्तु कामाय लोकाः प्रिया भवन्ति. न वा अरे देवानां कामाय देवाः प्रिया भवन्ति आत्मनस्तु कामाय देवाः प्रिया भवन्ति. न वा अरे वेदानां कामाय वेदाः प्रिया भवन्ति आत्मनस्तु कामाय वेदाः प्रिया भवन्ति. न वा अरे भूतानां कामाय भूतानि प्रियाणि भवन्ति आत्मनस्तु कामाय भूतानि प्रियाणि भवन्ति. न वा अरे सर्वस्य कामाय सर्वं प्रियं भवति आत्मनस्तु कामाय सर्वं प्रियं भवति. आत्मा वरे द्रष्टव्यः श्रोतव्यो मन्तव्यो निधिध्यासितव्यो मैत्रेयी. आत्मनि खल्वरे दृष्टे श्रुते मते विज्ञात इदं सर्वं विदितम्.
He said, "It is not for the sake of the husband, my dear, that he is loved, but for one's own sake that he is loved. It is not for the sake of the wife, my dear, that she is loved, but for one's own sake that she is loved. It is not for the sake of the sons, my dear, that they are loved, but for one's own sake that they are loved. It is not for the sake of wealth, my dear, that it is loved, but for one's own sake that it is loved. It is not for the sake of the animals, my dear, that they are loved, but for one's own sake that they are loved. It is not for the sake of the Brahmana, my dear, that he is loved, but for one's own sake that he is loved. It is not for the sake of the Kshatriya, my dear, that he is loved, but for one's own sake that he is loved. It is not for the sake of the worlds, my dear, that they are loved, but for one's own sake they are loved. It is not for the sake of the gods, my dear, that they are loved, but for one's own sake that they are loved. It is not for the sake of the Vedas, my dear, that they are loved, but for one's own sake that they are loved. It is not for the sake of the beings, my dear, that they are loved, but for one's own sake that they are loved. It is not for the sake of all, my dear, that all is loved, but for one's own sake that it is loved. The self, my dear Maitreyi, should be realized, should be heard of, reflected on, and meditated upon. When the self, my dear, is realized by being heard of, reflected on, and meditated upon, all this is known.
Yatra hi dvaitamiva bhavati taditara itaram pashyati taditara itaram jighrati taditara itaram rasayate taditara itaram abhivadati taditara itaram shrunoti taditara itaram manute taditara itaram sprushati taditara itaram vijanadi yatra tvasya sarvam atmaiva bhut tat kenakam pashyet tat kenakam jigret tat kenakam rasayet tat kenakam abhivadet tat kenakam shrunuyat tat kenakam manvita tat kenakam sprushet tat kenakam vijaniyat yenedam sarvam vijanadi tam kena vijaniyat sa esha neti netyatma agrihyo na hi grihyate ashiryo na hi shiryate asango na hi sajjate asito na vyadhate na rishyatiha vijñātāramare kena vijaniyat ityukta anuशासनासि maitreyi edadavadare khalvam amrtatvamadi hoktva yajnavalkyo vijahara.
Because when there is duality, as it were, then one sees something, one smells something, one tastes something, one speaks something, one hears something, one thinks something, one touches something, one knows something. But when to the knower of Brahman everything has become the self, then what should one see and through what? What should one smell and through what? What should one taste and through what? What should one speak and through what? What should one hear and through what? What should one think and through what? What should one touch and through what? What should one know and through what? Through what should one know that owing to which all this is known? This self is that which has been described as not this, not this. It is imperceptible, for it is never perceived, undecaying, for it never decays, unattached, for it is never attached, unfettered, it never feels pain and never suffers injury. Through what, O Maitreyi, should one know the knower? So you have got the instruction, Maitreyi. This much indeed is the means of immortality, my dear. Saying this, Yajnavalkya left.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
தீர்த்த ஸ்நானமும் பிரம்ம மந்திரமும் உரைக்கும் அத்தியாயம்.
தீனதயா பரகுருவே நித்தம் எந்த தீர்த்தத்தில் நீ ஸ்நானமாடுகின்றாய்.
ஸ்நானமதன் சொரூபமதான் விதமாகும் ஸ்நானத்துக்குரிய மகா மந்திரந்தான்.
ஆனதவை அதற்குரிய தர்ப்பணந்தான், அமைவதவை ஹோமந்தான் எவ்விதமாகும். நீ நலமாய் இவையெல்லாம் அருள்வாய் என்ற நிதாகர்க்கு ரிபு முனிவன் நிகழ்த்தலானான். பூரணமாய் ஆன்மாவுக்கு அபிநமாக பொருந்து பர பிரம்மெனும் தீர்த்தத்தின் கண்.
சாரமதாய் எப்போதும் ஸ்நானமாடல் சகலத்தின் மேலான ஸ்நானமாகும்.
தீரமிகும் புத்திரனே இதனை அன்றி தீர்த்தமெதில் ஆடலுமே ஸ்நானமன்று. பேரறிவான் பரபிரம்ம தீர்த்தத்தின் கண் வேதமர நான் என்றும் ஆடுகின்றேன். நிகழ்மகம் பிரம்மாஸ்மி என்றுரைத்த நிச்சயமே மேலான ஸ்நானமைந்தா.
பகருமிதன் சொரூபத்தை விசாலமாக பரமசிவன் அருளியவா பகர கேளாய்.
அகமனிஷம் பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகம் சச்சிதானந்த ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் பரமசிவ ஸ்வரூபன் என்றும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்நானம்.
அகமனிஷம் கேவலமாம் பரஸ்வரூபம், அகமனிஷம் கேவலமாம் சாந்தரூபம்.
அகமனிஷம் கேவலமாம் நித்தரூபம், அகமனிஷம் கேவலமாம் சுத்தரூபம்.
அகமனிஷம் கேவலமாம் புத்தரூபம், அகமனிஷம் கேவலமாம் முத்தரூபம்.
அகமனிஷம் பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்நானம்.
அகமனிஷம் நிர்மலமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமனிஷம் நிரந்தரமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் நிஷ்கலமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமனிஷ நிஷ்கிரிய ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் நிரஞ்சனமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமனிஷம் நிரமயமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்நானம்.
அகமனிஷம் நிர்மலமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமனிஷம் நிரவரண ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் நிரவயவ ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமனிஷம் நிர்குணமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் சர்வான்ம ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமனிஷம் சர்வமிலா ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்நானம்.
அகமனிஷம் அகந்தையிலா ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமனிஷம் இதந்தையிலா ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் சங்கமிலா ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமனிஷம் பங்கமிலா ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் துரியமதாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகம் துரியாதீத பரஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்நானம்.
அகமகிலா விகடமிலா ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமாதி அந்தமிலா ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனியம் ஒன்றுமிலா ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமென்றும் அளவுபடா ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமகில பூரணமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன், அகமகில காரணமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன்.
அகமனிஷம் பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்நானம்.
அகமகில பூரண ஆனந்தமானோன் அகம பரிச்சின்ன மகானந்தமானோன்
அகமனிஷம் நிர்மலபரானந்தமானோன் அகமனிஷம் நிரதிசயானந்தமானோன்
அகமனிஷம் சதானந்த கணமேயானோன் அகமனிஷம் சிதானந்த கணமேயானோன்
அகமனிஷம் பரபிரம்மமானோன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்தானம்
அகமுண்மை மாத்திரமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன் அகமுணர்வு மாத்திரமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமின்ப மாத்திரமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன் அகமேக மாத்திரமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமச்சல மாத்திரமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன் அகமான்ம மாத்திரமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகம் பிரம்ம மாத்திரமாம் ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்நானம்
அகமனிஷம் ஆகாய ஸ்வரூபமானோன் அகமனிஷம் மகத்தான ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமனிஷம் சிதாகாய ஸ்வரூபமானோன் அகமனிஷம் சிற்கணமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமனிஷம் பரகாய ஸ்வரூபமானோன் அகமனிஷம் பரமான்ம ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமனிஷம் பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்நானம்
அகமனிஷம் உடல் பொறிகள் உயிர்களுள்ள அகங்கார ஆதியிலா ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமனிஷம் அறிவுற்ற நாம ரூபம் அணுவுமிலா அத்வைத ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமனுவும் பந்தமிலா நித்த முத்த ஆகும கண்டை கரச ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமமல பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்தானம்
அகமனிஷம் தேக முதல் அஜ்ஞானந்தான் அனைத்துக்கும் விலக்ஷணமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமனிஷம் மனவாக்கு கெட்டாதான அத்வைத கண்ட பரஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமகில ஆதாரமாகி நின்று அதன் சங்கம் அணுவுமிலா ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமமல பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்தானம்
அகமனிஷம் அறிவுற்ற திருசியங்கள் அனைத்துக்கும் அதித பரஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமனிஷம் மறைமுடியால் அறியத்தக்க ஆன்மாவுக்கு அபின பரஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமணியம் அணுவுமில்லாதகமேயாக அமர்கின்ற அகண்ட பரஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமமல பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்நானம்
அகமகில ஹிருதயத்து மிருந்தவற்றை அசைக்கினுமே அசஞ்சலமாம் ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமகில பூதமொடு பௌதீகங்கள் அமர்ஜீவராதியில ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமகில காலமொடு தேசம் வஸ்து அனைத்துமிலா அத்வைத ஸ்வரூபமானோன்
அகமமல பரபிரம்ம ஸ்வரூபன் என்னும் அகம் பிரம்ம நிச்சயமே மகதாம் ஸ்நானம்
இந்த விதம் பரபிரம்ம தீர்த்தத்தின் கண் எளிதாக இயற்றியிடும் ஸ்நானம் சொன்னேன்
மைந்த விதை மகிழுடனே ஒரு காலேனும் மயக்கமர கேட்டுணர்வோன் பிரம்ம மாவன்
பந்தமறு பரபிரம்ம மந்திரத்தை பரமசிவன் பகர்ந்தவனம் பகர கேளாய்
சந்ததமும் சகல மகா மந்திரத்தும் சாலவும் இம்மந்திரமே சாரமாகும்
அகமனிஷம் சத்தான பிரம்மமானோன் अगमनिशं चित्तान ब्रह्ममानोन्
अहमनिशं सुखमान ब्रह्ममानोन् अहमनिशं शुद्धमदां ब्रह्ममानोन्
अगमनिशम् अद्वैत ब्रह्ममानोन् अगमनिशम् अखण्डपर ब्रह्ममेन्नुम्
அகமிலகம் பிரம்மாஸ்மி நிச்சயந்தான் அனைத்துக்கும் மேலான மந்திரங்கான்
अगमगिल कारणमां ब्रह्ममानोन् अगमगिल पूरणमां ब्रह्ममानोन्
அகமகில விலக்ஷணமாம் பிரம்மமானோன் அகமணியம் அணுவுமிலா பிரம்மமானோன்
अगमगमाय अमर्गिन्द्र ब्रह्ममानोन् अगमनिशम् अखण्डपर ब्रह्ममेन्नुम्
அகமிலகம் பிரம்மாஸ்மி நிச்சயந்தான் அனைத்துக்கும் மேலான மந்திரங்கான்
अगमनिशम् मायैला ब्रह्ममानोन् अगमाय विकारमिला ब्रह्ममानोन्
அகமனிசம் அவித்தையிலா பிரம்மமானோன் அகமவையின் விகாரமிலா பிரம்மமானோன்
அகமிருமை எவையுமிலா பிரம்மமானோன் அகமென்றும் ஏகபர பிரம்மென்றும்
அகமிலகம் பிரம்மாஸ்மி நிச்சயந்தான் அனைத்துக்கும் மேலான மந்திரங்கான்
अगमनिशं सद्गणमां ब्रह्ममानोन् अगमनिशं सन्मयमां ब्रह्ममानोन्
अहमनिशं चित्घनमं ब्रह्ममानोन् अहमनिशं चिन्मयमं ब्रह्ममानोन्
अगमनिशं सुखगणमां ब्रह्ममानोन् अगमनिशं सुखपर ब्रह्ममेन्नुम्
அகமிலகம் பிரம்மாஸ்மி நிச்சயந்தான் அனைத்துக்கும் மேலான மந்திரங்கான் सर्वगतं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। वक्तारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशे यस्योन्निमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमाविद्युतो भान्तिकुतो यमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। अज्ञानध्वान्तविध्वंस प्रचण्डमविभास्करम् आत्मनो ब्रह्मदाज्ञानं नीराजनमिहात्मनः। अन्तर्ज्योतिः बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यज्योतिःपरात्परः ज्योतिर्ज्योतिः स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिः शिवोऽस्म्यहम् शिवोऽस्म्यहम्